I said, this stuff doesn't happen to me. This doesn't happen to me. And it does. It can happen to anyone at any stage. Your life could change in an instant. I was at our school reunion. I was drawn to him because he was mucking around and just ripped open his shirt and he had about 3 hairs on his chest. And I just thought that was quite funny. He wasn't any brain surgeon or any, didn't change the world, but he changed mine. Davern was someone who loved all the people he worked with, but he'd come home and rave about Lyndon, what Lyndon was doing, what he was building and what he was making, and talk about that. Davern called me at about 2:20 and he said, there's been an incident. I think Ben's gone, but Lyndon's not good. We'd been in there for the hospital, probably an hour or so, and he just said to me, my boy's in there. And I just didn't know what to say, because he thought he'd killed him. He thought he was responsible for their death. And I sent him up there. I told Ben to go up there and then I called Lyndon. He said, we've done it 1,000 times. Done it 1,000 times, gone up there to check where the water was coming from. By the time we got in the car, it was about 7:30 in the morning and the news came on the radio that Lyndon had passed. And after that, I sort of can't really remember that day much at all. Like it was just, there was so much going on and I had to go back to work and then I came home about lunchtime to check on him. And he said to me, what are you doing home? And I said, I've come to check on you. And he said, well, I'm not going to do myself in, And I said, well, I hope not. Ben's funeral, all the boys got together and it was like a celebration sort of Ben's life and they had a lovely time and it was lovely watching them all having a nice time and smiling and it was so nice. And then Lyndon's funeral, we ended up leaving early and I thought, oh, that's a bit odd. But he just wanted to go. By that time, after going through 2 funerals, he was a mess. He was just a mess. I remember coming home and we're lying in bed and he said to me, never forget how much I love you. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said nothing. He said, just never forget how much I love you. And I thought, okay, so we obviously got up in the morning and I gave him a kiss and I told him I loved him and off I went to work and I got a phone call from the police. And they came and saw me and told me and I didn't know what to do. You just go into shock. I had to ring his brother and his son and my sister and we had to go and identify him. I knew why. I knew it was because he thought he'd killed the boys, that he thought he'd sent them to their death. He said to me, I felt like I killed my boys, his own boys. They didn't call anyone in until the Tuesday in between the funerals, so that was 2 weeks later. Way too late for Davern, he was dead on the Thursday. Yeah, he was gone. He was just ripped away. We were put onto the Family Injured Workers Support Advisory Group to help other people get through the minefield that we've all had to go through and hopefully be able to make a difference to somebody who's going through what I've been through and that I can make a difference for other people and advise safe work. When it happened to me, I just wanted to speak to someone who'd been through what I'd been through. That was my first thing. I want to talk to someone to find out how to get through this because you don't know what you're doing. Most of us have never been through this before. For those that have been through traumatic experiences, we can help because we've all been there. We've all, in some way, shape or form, there is someone out there who relate to one person in our group, at least one person. They will relate and they will be able to help.